Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2014 Jeep Patriot, and its history is, or it has a history of overheating. This has the 2.4 liter. I see the reservoir is somewhat overfull. I just drove it 100 feet into the shop, and the upper rad hose is very pressurized, which is a bad sign. The customer says that, well, let's see the note here. December the 8th, overheating. Changed thermostat and housing. Brought in a couple more times for overheating. Couldn't find a problem. May 30th, overheating. Checked. Had front struts done. Well, that'll help. Had spark plugs changed. Howl in the front started. Then back brakes needed to be changed. Still howl in the front end. July, changed the thermostat housing again. Thermostat and housing, I imagine. And the front wheel bearing. No howl, but still overheating. Customer reported that they've been adding coolant to it but don't see it leaking anywhere. So I suspect we may have a combustion leak into the cooling system. There's a lot of pressure in the cooling system. Now the MIL is on with the engine running. The check engine light is on. So we're going to start with a scan and see what codes it has to offer. So this is a new vehicle record. 2014 Jeep Patriot detected. I didn't check the mileage on it. Well, there it is, 130,000 kilometers. Display fitted systems. And let's do a code scan of all the controllers to see if there's any codes related to this overheating condition. Yeah, that's not a good code. Bank 1 camshaft slow response. Bank 1 camshaft position slow response. Cylinder number 3 misfire. Restricted manual valve in T3 range stored. Steering angle sensor not initialized. Nothing related to the overheating, but this camshaft error code is not a good code to have. You may have some timing chain or cam phaser problems. Well, we've got a record of these, so we're going to clear all the codes read by code scan, and then we're going to look at the temperature of the engine to see if the temperature reading it corresponds to what it actually is. I just started and drove it 100 feet, so it shouldn't be. It should be about 20 Celsius, 25 Celsius. Maybe it isn't overheating. Maybe it thinks it is. I haven't run it to temperature yet, so I don't want to get it really super hot just yet. Let's go into engine. Let's go into data and engine data. Let's take a look at temperatures. Ambient temperature voltage. Ambient temperature is 30 Celsius. Coolant temperature is 39 Celsius. Well, that'd be realistic. It's pretty hot and muggy here today, and I did drive it, so I think we better check for combustion gases in the cooling system. I'm going to see if I can relieve some pressure in the cooling system. So I took the radiator cap off, which is on the upper rad hose, and the upper rad hose is basically empty. I don't see any coolant in there at all. So that's actually a good thing because I don't have to take some out. I'm going to use a combustion leak tester to see if we got any signs of combustion gases in the upper rad hose. So this is what I'm using for combustion leak testing. I see my plastic bottle is cracked. I hope it doesn't cause a problem. But I have a new bottle of leak test fluid because the last time I tried to use it, which was about a year ago, my bottle of fluid had already turned color. So I had to get a new bottle. Unfortunately, I think what they should do is sell these in like 2-ounce bottles, because once you open this and expose it to the atmosphere, it begins to change. So this is a brand new bottle, so should be good. So this is basically the setup. You put about an ounce of the blue liquid in the container. On this one, it's got 2 chambers. Some only have a single chamber. And you put it over the radiator cap opening. You got to make sure you don't suck coolant into it, because that's going to affect the performance. So now we're going to start it up and see what we get. was blue and now it's turning green. Make sure the coolant's not raising in there. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but it's definitely turning green, yellowish green. Well, I think that's pretty good indication that we have combustion gases accumulating in the cooling system. I'm going to try filling it up and see if we see any physical bubbles. You can see there's a fairly consistent bubble that will appear every so many seconds. So that, coupled with the fluid turning greenish yellow, indicates we have a head gasket issue. I was suspicious because it built up like nearly pressure. I could test this cap, make sure it's holding pressure, but there was pressure in the upper rad hose, and just based on my experience, it was about 14-15 pounds. I could hardly squeeze the hose, and it built that pressure up driving at 100 feet into the shop, so that's unusually fast. Well, let's give the customer the good news. So the coolant temperatures come up to 75, 76 Celsius in that short time of running. I'm going to do one more thing just to be proactive, because with an overheating condition, it's hard to tell what came first, the overheating or the head gasket failure. So we're going to try a functional test to see if we can run the radiator cooling fan. Now normally it would set a fault code. Let's see. Shutdown relay. Fuel injector, radiator condenser, fan relay. 1 and 2. So I want to make sure the cooling fan runs. Yes, that one does. Because if it had a cooling fan problem, it could have overheated because of the cooling fan, and that took out the head gasket. So I'm also going to check case histories. This is relay number 2. So both of them are working, the cooling fan's running. So last but not least, we're going to check for case histories. So I'm on the Identifix website, and I typed in the keyword search of overheating. There's a case with a cylinder head gasket, cylinder head, and there's also a couple of TSBs mentioned. Oil consumption, fluid flushing requirements, nothing related. Let's check this case here. Cylinder head gaskets, replaced at both coolant thermostats. Well, they've been done already. Replaced radiator. We will have a look at the front of the rad just to make sure there's nothing like a piece of cardboard in front of the rad or something like that, but that nevertheless doesn't account for the bubbles in the cooling system and the combustion gas presence in the cooling system. Like I said, give the customer the good news. So I'm just doing a visual inspection here, and remember the cam timing error codes and the misfire codes? Well, it's got 3 new ignition coils on it. So I think somebody was chasing the misfire as well. I asked them if it stumbled on a hot restart, which would indicate coolant getting into the cylinder, and they said no. But obviously somebody's been chasing a misfire here, or some ignition related problem. It's about an 8 to 10 hour job to do the cylinder head R&R, and I'm just trying to get a feel for what's involved. Doesn't look pretty, and it would be a good time to go in there and do the timing chain and guides and phasers and whatever else might be causing those to cam timing error codes, or replace the entire engine if we could find a low mileage used one. So I'm just checking to see what's common to cause the P000A and B codes. T000A. Engine oil issues. Now setting trouble codes A and B. Codes were not present before. The use of an OE spec filter, maybe oil filter, correct engine oil are absolutely crucial in this vehicle. Camshaft position, slow response. Well, I wonder what the engine oil looks like in general. That's it could be a sticking solenoid, could be quality, oil quality. We'll have a look. So we'll just check the engine oil here and see what it looks like. I haven't looked at the sticker on the windshield to see if it's past due, or I don't know if you can see that. But it is like an inch below the add mark. There's full, there's the add mark, and there's the level. And it doesn't feel all that healthy. Let's check the last time it was oil changed. So I added a couple of seal tablets, GM seal tablets, to the cooling system. Not that they're going to be effective immediately. It would take a few days of driving to make a difference. I took it for, well, 660-second road test, which is just over 10 minutes, 11 minutes. And at highway speeds, and it stabilized at about 92 Celsius. It maxed at 94 Celsius, which is definitely not an overheating condition. And I'm wondering, I gotta ask him how much coolant he's adding, because I'm wondering if what's happening is it's consuming the coolant in the engine enough to create an overheat condition, a low coolant level situation, and it's not taking it from the overflow bottle correctly because of the pressure in the cooling system not being normal. Obviously it has a head gasket issue, but I'm going to let him decide what he wants to do. I checked for the availability of a used engine, and there's nothing available locally for a reasonable price with low mileage, all between 160 and 200,000 kilometers, and he's got 130. So that's it for now. I'll post a follow-up if we do end up doing engine work on this thing. Yeah, thanks for watching.